Michael, I guess the first most obvious question, are you enjoying meeting fans here and being part of MCM Comic Con?
I'm having a great time. It's good to be back. It's been too long. It's fantastic. I mean, these shows, a lot of people who haven't been to a convention, they go, well, what's it like? What's it like? And fanboy, fangirl, I go, well, absolutely. Actually, it's fan families. Where else can you go and have an entire family dressed up in costumes and everybody's enjoying themselves? It's wonderful. Gives you a break from, I watch the news, I get sad, so I have to, go somewhere with my imagination, so that's why we come here.
When you do get a chance to meet those fanboys, fangirls, and fan families, I'd imagine there's maybe some common questions, things that people always seem to want to talk about, certain questions that you always get asked. What are those? What do you tend to get most from people?
One of the most common ones is Jack Nicholson really crazy? And no, Jack is marvelous. Very straight-talking guy, just delightful, very, very honest, incredible actor. In Cuckoo's Nest, one of my favorite scenes is when Billy's having his date, and I'm right by the camera with Milos Forman, and I'm watching Jack do his work. And in film, small is huge. So there's a scene where he's with Will Sampson, the chief, and they're tired. It's at the end of the party. And every night around midnight, the train would go through Salem, Oregon, where we filmed it. And it would blow the whistle. And Milos kept the camera running, and Jack is next to the chief, and he talks to the chief, and he goes, well, this won't take very long, you know what I mean? Then we hit a train, and Jack knows that the camera's still rolling. Milos is wise enough not to say cut, and Jack does this. Gives a beautiful segue and cut to morning, Nurse Ratched, lights, what's going on. I mean, there's certain brilliance about various moments of unscripted artistic expression in film. So Jack he's not nuts. He's just a fantastic talent, and so that usually settles that question. He's just a very talented, honest guy. He told me that if he was as tall as I was, he'd be an NBA star. He's got good moves. I mean, for me, ball goes this way, I'm going that way. But that's a common question. Another one is, what was it like working with Wes Craven? Miss you, Wes. He very brilliant, very scholastical, if that's a word. I remember at his funeral services in Los Angeles, his son was telling the story how his dad was invited to, when they were living in the northeast of the United States, Wes was invited to go with the president of the Audubon Society to go bird watching. So they got up really early in the morning, they drive up to the precipice of a mountain, and the guy says, okay, now Wes, once the sun comes up and there's a bit of a breeze, certain birds will be out and about. And oh, here's one now. And he has his binoculars and he says, Wes, go look over in this direction, that's such and such a raptor. And he says, his son says, the gentleman said, and then Wes took out a pair of opera glasses. And the guy goes, no, Wes, here, try these, some nice Hasselblad binoculars. And Wes goes, I have to get a pair of these. My point is, Wes was gracious, he was intelligent, and sharp as a tack. He knew exactly what he wanted in scenes. There was a scene in The Hills Have Eyes where I am on the walkie-talkie expressing to my family that it's time to attack the Whitebread family, the vacationers. And Wes says, okay, to create tension, I want you to take your knife and just go shh, 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 on this big rock here. And it's the only time we ever had a disagreement. I said, no, Wes. I said, Pluto, not only is he cunning and wickedly smart, his knife would be razor sharp at all times. To do this on a rock would dull it. I said, no, maybe if I cut my finger or something, that would be even better. And he goes, no, I want you to do the rock thing. I said, no, Pluto wouldn't do that. I'll just look sinister. Go. So it was a good taffy pull between artist and director, and we worked 3 other times after that.
Just going back to Pluto, how do you feel that character has transcended genres? he appears in essentially other films in different genres.
Pluto. Okay, I had just finished Cuckoo's Nest. As my first job was George Powell. I worked 2 days. He got me into the business. Worked on a movie called Dr. Savage with Ron Ely. 2 days in and out. Don't even have an agent. Going to go homestead in Alaska and get sidetracked to Cuckoo's Nest. Now we're doing The Hills Have Eyes. Okay. I learned a lot about my craft for 127 days doing Cuckoo's Nest. And yes, I do answer questions, but in a big circle. So I wasn't sure that a movie about the McBean family, you know, cannibals, etc., was worth telling. I was glad to have a job, to be quite honest. I was living in the mountains, and if you go off the mountains, a little bit north, there's the high desert where we filmed it. So I was very comfortable in the desert. I used to go camping there, especially in the winter. So we had the white bread family, the family that were camping, and then we had the cannibal family, Jimmy Weberworth and myself and Mars and Ruby. So during production, we actually were two bands of separate actors because most of the people that were in the camping family had done television. They had done a lot of features. So we were, you know, gritty and didn't care, so we would kind of rough them up. And over the period of a few weeks, we were friendly, but we had this slight animosity because we were in character most of the time. Well, Wes wanted Pluto to be fiery temper, which is something that I've had growing up as a kid. If you have a visual difference as a kid, you get teased, and you either are compliant or you get right in somebody's face. Well, I was the latter. I had a fuse about like that. So that was part and parcel of Pluto when he gets angry, like when a dog attacks my foot, and he's just very angry. When I'm in the trailer and Mars tells me, wait till you're a man, you know, and so I take the hatchet and I chop up the trailer. Well, you have to understand we had almost no budget, so to chop the trailer up, I had to do it in ultra slow motion, so Eric Sarian, our DP, knew to capture where that hatchet was going, otherwise it would just look silly. Well, during the process of smashing the trailer, like when I hit the partition, a piece of that wooden partition went right through my hand. When I'm attacking Brenda, Susan Lanier, Mars pulls me off the bed, and then you'll see the back of my head wipe the lens. It actually cut into the back of my skull because our timing was a little bit off. Eric had a black eye, and I had a big bloody crease in the back of my skull. But it's part of, you know, making a movie. So I liked Pluto being honest to the character. I'm glad that we all survived. Virginia Vincent, by the way, the mother, when she got shot, she actually got seriously injured. We had things called squibs, they're explosive devices. So when she fell back into the couch, her squib moved, and the explosive charge tore the nipple right off of her breast, and she had to go straight to the hospital. It was unplanned. Sometimes that happens. Next question.
Can we make this the last one, please, as well?
What?
Because otherwise we're eating into your lunchtime.
I think Dave's just saying this might have to be our last question.
Okay, I can
have a
make it
lunch.
quicker.
No, it's right. Well, you can take as long as you want.
Oh, don't say that.
I guess
be here all
I guess
day.
my final question, particularly with the work you did with Wes, a lot of these are classics of what's often described as genre cinema.
Yep.
And Wes is seen as one of the great auteurs of that medium.
Yep.
I'm curious how you feel about that label, genre cinema, and why you think those are the films that so often seem to speak to the most people.
Well, to me, the genre of Wes Craven type cinema or horror in general, I believe is primal. When I was a young boy watching TV, we only had 3 channels, black and white, but still, I would watch everything science fiction and everything Universal Pictures classics. People ask me sometimes, why do you do scary movies? I don't do brutal movies. I'll do scary movies. I like the film to get under your skin. I like it to affect you in such a manner that you leave the hall light on. I want you to be affected. And the reason is, when you're driving home after going to the theater, or if you're at home and you're watching on television, or on a DVD, you're going to leave a hall light on. What I believe that we offer for you, the viewer, is your opportunity to appreciate your next breath, your next heartbeat. Why do you get up in the morning? Before you lay your head down on the pillow, you're going to go check the door, check the windows, make sure the dog is awake. You're going to look at your children and appreciate the fact that you are there to protect them. You might sleep with one eye open, but that's okay. Because when I was a child, like in the wonderful movie by Joe Dante called Matinee with John Goodman, there's a wonderful lesson there. It's when a young girl gets in trouble for saying that ducking and cover practice for a nuclear bomb will protect you, and she refuses to duck and cover under the desk because she's being taught a lie, a lesson that will not protect her. So we as grown-ups, we as storytellers, we as artists of the world, we as human beings have to be honest with one another and our prodigy and our children and our children's future. Otherwise, all bets are off. We live in perilous times at this moment, 2018. So we do a service. We help you appreciate being alive. Be aware of the deceivers, like there's a wonderful John Carpenter movie of my dear friend Roddy Piper, Obey. If you don't know what that is, ask one of your nerdy friends. They'll help you see a movie called They Live. We're trying to touch your humanity. Without that, all bets are off. So live long and prosper. Oh yeah, we're at a nerd convention right now. MCM, man!
Thank you so much for that.
That's it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Hey, Bill, we're here. We'll see you maybe in 10 years, brother. Bill Paxton. Last time I saw Bill Paxton, I gave him a big hug and I said, "You're my favorite whiner." And he does this with those lovely teeth and he goes, "Michael, what do you mean?" I go, "Game over, man."